Lovely, good. So we shall, I said strap today, just to aid a bit of stretching. I'm going to do lots of lovely stretches for the legs, do some flossing for the sciatic nerve, just some really nice stuff to get us back into it. So let's start with our setup. So we want our feet underneath our hip bones, and we're pulling up nice and tall. So we've got ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. So we're nice and aligned with the posture. We're pulling up tall, the shoulders are back and down. And just if I was sideways, because we all have a habit of very much probably standing like this a lot, so that's why we're just trying to pull back, shoulders back, engage, and we want to think of the tummy not being arched. That's another natural pose I tend to do quite a lot, but some of us tend to be like that. So it's just draw your abdominals in and squeeze. So you just, that's that sort of tucking and tilting slightly, so we feel we're nicely engaged. Let's lift the toes, give them a little move. Let's sway side to side. Lovely, a little bit of weight back and forward, and just find ourselves nice and central, and the weight really nicely distributed across the whole foot. We want to make sure our feet don't turn out or in, really try and keep them parallel. Let's take a nice deep breath in for the nose, and we're letting the belly fill up with air, coming all the way up. And then as we breathe out, we squeeze the air out. Breathing in. And think of a breath, you know, a little bit longer than normal. I might have said that once, I'll just repeat myself. 3, 4, 5 seconds in. And we're doing what they call lateral thoracic breathing, which is a fancy name for just getting your ribs out to the side, get your thoracic sideways. So really, rather than just breathing in and out your belly, you're trying to expand your whole rib cage. So just sort of visualize it filling up with air. And then when you breathe out, you've got your corset, which you squeeze, and everything comes out. And that's what we're trying to do throughout the whole class with all the exercises. Return to regular length breath. Let's do that little chin tuck. I'm going to turn sideways. It's like the opposite of a pigeon. So we're tucking back, release, back. So it feels funny, but it's just stretching the back of the neck. It's helping us get the head and neck aligned. We're often stuck forward, so just a few more. 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Lovely. Let's now breathe in, and on the out breath, let's tuck the chin in. So we're not bowing the head forward. Breathe in, lift the chin. We're just tucking it in slightly, so we feel we're lengthening the neck. It's growing at the back, and we're just tucking that chin in. Lovely. Breathe in, lift slightly. Let's have the palms open to the front. Let's add breath with this. So we breathe in, breathing out. So on the out breath, we're squeezing our tummy, zipping up the pelvic floors. If you're holding in a wee, let's lift those arms, stretch the tummy, and then squeeze the tummy. Breathing in, opening the shoulders, bouncing in the legs, in the knees. Let's swing all the way down, nice and floppy. Back up and flop. Just let that neck be nice and gentle, eyes to the knees. One more. And coming back. Let's get ourselves back nice and centered, nice and tall posture. Check, lovely little circle with the head. As if you're drawing sort of about the size of an apple with your nose, just to get some mobility into the neck. And change direction. Always trying to look after our necks as well. And then let's take a little look over the shoulder, and then the other way. And I'm going to add some arms onto this as well. So we're going to look, follow with your head with your fingers. That didn't make sense. Follow your fingers with your head and your eyes. Don't worry, let the hips go where they want to go. We're just opening up the shoulder. We're warming up the neck. Just nice and gentle, breathing in. Lovely, let's do the other arm. So nice big reach and circle. It just means we're getting a bit of a spine twist, warming up the shoulders, warming up the neck, all happening at once. Let's now reverse that, back to the right arm, come forward. Again, follow back, up and down. So we're getting a nice range of motion with our head. Careful we don't tip it back. It's just a nice circle. And other side, reach. Still think that posture nice and engaged in the centre, lovely. Then let's take the elbows in at the waist and we're going to open them up. So really squeeze tight. The tighter you squeeze, then the more you're going to sort of activate, then try and open up. You could even have a small towel or something under your arm, or hold a bit of paper or a newspaper if that helps you squeeze. So you're really squeezing the top. And let's add a reach. Breathe in, breathe out, squeeze those elbows back. Lovely. We're going to do a bit of arm work today as well. So stretching the legs, strengthening the arms. One more. Lovely, and release. Let's take these arms up, shoulder height, shrug the shoulders, slide them back down, and then rotate, push down. And we're keeping the ribs closed, so that means that we're not lifting up the chest. We're trying to get mobility in these arms. Same when we come forward, we don't want to round the shoulders because we're always trying to open up the shoulders. Let's open and just rotate. Let's do one at a time. One arm looking over the shoulder. Breathe in center, breathe out, push down. Create your own resistance. Imagine you're pushing on a heavy lever, pressing it down. Stretch those fingers. We spend all day using our hands. Let's give them a little stretch as well. Lovely, one more. Back to center. Just a few shoulder rolls. And now we're going to do a spine twist. And this time I don't want the hips moving. They stay still. Little soft knee bend. Just cross the arms. Keep your chin in line. Oh, I forgot to say I'm doing Pilates. Keep your chin in line with your where your arms are crossing. And we just rotate. So this is just warming up the spine. It's just spinal rotation. Breathe in as you twist away. Breathe out as you come back. And again, this hip here, you want to keep it still because as I'm going back, it wants to go. So I'm pushing it forward. So you're engaging your muscles in your tummy as well, your oblique muscles. I'm going to add on a reach as well. Still keep those hips forward, reaching gently, stretching across here, and come back. And reach, breathe in, breathing out. Coming back, lovely. Reach, breathe in, twist, keep those hips forwards. One more. Lovely, let's get these arms and shoulders a little bit warmer. Roll them back. Nice big movements. You can get the chest involved with this, don't worry, lift it. Just get some big movements, roll forward. So think if you're trying to touch your shoulders behind, touch your ears and touch in front. So it is really over exaggerated. It just really warms up those joints. Lovely. Good, and then let's have the hands involved. Circle them round. And then reverse. And let's take them out in front and we're going to flick them up and down like you're revving a motorbike. Just getting some movement in these hands and then keep them flicked up. Give me little circles out. So you're cleaning your windows. And back. There is that weird stuff on all the cars, isn't there? It seems to be everywhere. I don't know if it's come through on some sort of, from the Sahara, some sort of sand, but there seems to be this dust everywhere. So if you imagine you're cleaning your car and your windows at the moment, lovely. I'm going to take these up, cleaning the ceiling, but keep your head down. So just little circles. We're just keeping these wrists flexed, warming up the shoulders, change direction. Start to bring them down. We're going to link the hands together and just gently, little figure of 8. And then we're going to stretch and bend and fluidly move the arms, lovely. And if you can get your brain around it, reverse. Lovely. And then just stretch those fingers, stretch the wrists, bring the arms up. Relax the shoulders, try and lift one shoulder up, keeping the spine still. Lovely, and the other one, small lift. Good, then let's bring those arms down. Palms of the hands to yourself. Push your hands towards me. Pull the tummy in, round the upper back. Feel those shoulder blades separate, and the chin is just tucked in. And release, lovely. Just a quick side bend, get this spine ready. We're going to roll down then afterwards, and we're going to do a lot of down dogs today, but for the purpose of flexing, stretching out the ankles rather than using it to stretch out the shoulders. So we can sort of do a half dog, but I'm going to add that straight onto our roll downs. Again, this is just a gentle side tip, warming up the spine. If you need to, support yourself with your hands on your hips. Otherwise, I'm going to add an arm on. I'm going to reach out, reach up, and then reach over, and this one comes down. Lovely. And it's nice and fluid. Change sides. So reach out, so the ribs come out, then up, and then slide the hand down. So it's just a nice fluid movement. Breathe in, breathe out. If you need to, support. And release, breathe in. Your hands don't have to be so floaty if you don't want to. You can make it nice and stiff if you prefer. It's the stretch that we want. Whatever your hands are doing, that is up to you. One more. Wonderful. Good. So we're going to do the roll down. We're going to do a few of these, and then I'm going to move my camera down so that I'm more at your height, at floor height. So we're going to do a few roll downs, and then we'll take it to a down dog. So breathing in at the top. Breathe out, chin tucks in. So it's like you're a robot and someone has pulled your plug out and you're just slumped down like that. And you squeeze the tummy in, you slowly curl, stretch these arms round the back. If you need to, support and just slide down. Or you can have your knees bent. You sort of round and round and round, and then once you get to a point we can't go anymore, then we have to then hinge forward from the hips. And just eyes to the knees, chest to the legs. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out, come back. Same way we went up, so try and keep your bottom where it is, so we try not to stick it out. Imagine your bum is against a wall. We just had our power plugged in. We are slowly stacking the spine back up. And then your shoulders, and then your head. Breathe in. Breathe out, back down. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out, come back. One more, and keep it down to the bottom. Lovely. So I am going to do a couple of down dogs with you. So I'm just going to walk the hands forward. So with a down dog, the closer your hands are, a little bit easier it is. You know, the further your hands are away, the harder it is to get your heels down. So don't worry too much about the upper body at the moment. What I want to do is just try and have some sort of down dog and pad through your feet. So you're just padding one at a time. You're trying to push the shoulders down, but really at the moment I'm just worried. I just want this to be a calf stretch, so you carry on with that. I'm going to switch my camera. Whoa, hopefully that will not fall off. Good stuff. Let's just come back down, bring the knees down and just relax. So we're going to work on that down dog again. Again, really stretching out the backs of these calves, which does take it up into the hamstrings a little bit, but they're not overly warm, but this is going to get them a little bit warm. So tuck the toes under, tuck the top in, otherwise it's going to go flying. Tuck the toes under, pushing up. So don't worry if your legs are bent. Let's just focus on straightening one leg. And release. Then straighten another leg. Push that heel back. And release. And then another one. And release. And then the other one. Lovely. Just keeping on going. So it's slightly more than just walking through. It's kind of release, push one back. Release, push one back. Then let's just try and push both heels down. And again, if you need to be more here, if this is easier for you and you get a nice stretch, you know, this is fine as well. The further your hands are, the more stretch it's going to be. So you just work with your body, stretch those heels. Let's do a double bend and stretch. Bend And stretch the tailbone up to the ceiling. Don't worry if your heels don't touch the floor, just aim for that, just stretch. Let's do 3 more. Breathe in and out, and in and out. Last one. And out. Let's take the knees all the way down. Release those feet and sit back. Lovely. Let's just relax into child pose. Wonderful. So I'm doing a nice little stretch for these glutes, for this piriformis. So we're going to do these ones, then move on, and the hamstring stretch I'm going to do later once we've done a bit more exercise. So I am sitting, not the most glamorous position, but starting with your feet out, feet wide, and I'm just going to turn to the sides. That's what I want you to do. Don't worry too much about the leg position yet. So I'm just trying to have a sort of 90-degree angle. Don't worry if this leg's a bit here. And I'm just going to lean forwards. And this is going to be a dynamic movement. Then we're going to switch the other way. And lean. We're trying not to round lean, just try and lean into it. So you're pushing into that front leg. And just keep going. We're going to do about sort of 10 of these. Just keep getting a bit further. Thinking of your legs. We're going to hold it at the end, so don't worry too much. But just thinking your chest is square to your leg. A little lean into it. So you're feeling the hip that you're leaning into. So I'm feeling it here. Lean forward. Lovely stuff. Good. Let's do 4 more of these. That's really nice. Opening up the hips, getting this nice stretch. A little bit of a deeper stretch. You're leaning into it, so you're getting a bit of a deeper stretch into that glute, into your piriformis muscle. Let's do 2 more. And we'll hold the one on that side. Okay, so I'm holding it here. So I want to try and have this 90-degree angle. Again, if your knees are not having it, just bring your foot in. And I'm trying to be 90 degrees here. Twist the body to the front. And I'm leaning into this bottom, into this hip. This back leg can go back more if you're comfortable with it. So just bear in mind, if not, bring it in. You do what your body wants. But we're just going to hold this for a little bit. And we're pushing the weight forwards, leaning into this leg. You might find you could take it a little bit lower. Again, chin tucked in. We're trying to be nice and straight down the body. Whatever works for you. One more nice deep breath here. Lovely. So I thought we'd do the stretches at the beginning rather than the ends. Just changes it up a bit. Let's switch directions. So again, we want this 90-degree action, 90-degree angle. Your sternum is going straight towards that knee. And again, this leg, if we can, so you've got 2 90-degree angles, and you can just make it as much as you want with that back leg. Leaning into it. Always listen to your body. You are your own best teacher. See how it feels. If you can come down lower, do. If you can't, don't. It's really important to have a good, loose, mobile hips. And then your back doesn't do all the work. A few more nice deep breaths here. Lovely. Really nice, gently coming up. Okay, let's come on to all fours. I'm going to do our cat cow. So this is the cat. I don't know why this is a cow, but it is. But let's start with the tailbone, rounding it underneath. So round the tailbone. So it's a tilt and a tuck, and you pull your tummy right up, and we just gently look underneath. Then we reverse. Arch in the back, lift in the chest, lift in the chin, push the shoulders back. This is the cow. Breathe in here, breathe out, reverse. Really use those abdominals, suck them right up. You should feel this in your abs, that's where we want to feel it. We're using the abdominals to stretch here, then contract and make the spine round. So it's really good for your discs in between your spine, because you are Pumping the spine, you're bending it one way, bending it the other way, squeezing the discs, but in a gentle way, getting nutrients and blood to them. They don't get blood to them very naturally, so these sort of exercises are really good. One more, breathing in here. Breathing out. Let's sit back. And then let's give these wrists a little rest. So a couple of exercises for the arms. So I'm going to do some seated, and then we're going to do some using body weights. It just gives us a bit of a different way of working out the arms. I'm cross-legged, but whatever is comfortable for you. We're not going to be here that long. We want to create a sort of a W shape. And I'm just going to do circles backwards with my elbows. So I'm squeezing back, squeeze the shoulder blades back. So we're working the back, just a different way of doing it. Normally we're lying down, similar process, sort of principle, but we're just squeezing back these little circles a little bit quicker if we can. 8, 7, 6, we haven't just got 8, I just thought I'd start counting. Keep going, shoulders down, nice long neck. Feeling it in those muscles in the back. Even quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. So circle with your elbows. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do the last 16. Last 8. Really pull up tall. You should feel this in your back. We've got to go forwards, I'm afraid. Small circles, slow circles. Thinking of your posture. If you're cross-legged, I'm just going to switch my leg up round. So I'm just not always doing the same thing. Feel your shoulders drawing away from your ears. Really try and pull up tall. Squeeze the tummy in, and you should feel this in your sort of mid back, because A, you're having to sit up, and B, you're waving your arms around a little bit quicker. Circles with those elbows. So we're kind of working all the shoulders here and the pecs. A lot going on. Let's do really quick for the last 32. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 6. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. It's amazing. Your arms are pretty heavy, so you don't, you can do a lot of working out with them, open and close, just by moving them around. So I want to do a little push-up, but we're going to do it in a sort of Pilates style. So push-ups are notoriously difficult, I find. So this is just a different way of doing it. So we're going to lie down, and I'm going to have my hands in a diamond shape. So it's a diamond push-up. So the further away your hands are, it's a little bit easier. The closer they are, the harder it is. So my elbows are out. Just got to make sure you don't over twist. So you want your arms to be back here, and we're just going to push up. So only where you're comfortable, that your back isn't hurting as well. So that's another factor. If you think, oh, that's a lot on your back, hands a bit further forward. Squeeze the tummy in, squeeze the bum, push up and down and up. So it's like you're working your triceps. Keep the chin tucked in, working the arms, doing a nice push up, but not a full. If you're really strong and you want to go into a full push-up position, or you want to pull up on your knees, please go ahead. I just know that I'm not, and most of us aren't, to be fair. At least this way, it's safe. You've got a nice position, not too much stress. Give me another 4 and 3. I can feel this in my arms. And 2 and 1. Good. That also means we're stretching out the tummy and the back. Got one more set. This time, different position. Put your arms here and your elbows are in. This is like you were going to do a push-up. Same thing. We're just going to push up and down. So it's nice and slow and easy. Push up. Squeeze the elbows in. That's the main thing. And again, if that's too much, have your hands a bit further away. So it's like you're going to push up and then you don't. You get a nice arch in the back. Keep that chin down. Getting a nice stretch in that tummy. We should be feeling this in these arms. Let's do 4 more. I can really feel it. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Let's push all the way up, all the way back, coming into child pose. Oh, stretch those arms out, wonderful. We're going to give these arms a nice good stretch now. We can use the bands for that as well. Oh, it's surprising what you can do with your arms in a short space of time. Lovely. Again, sitting comfortably. In fact, I'm going to sit on my knees quickly. So I want to do a chest stretch. So we can grab the hands, either grab a hand or link them, or use a band and just stretch back. Chest is lifted, squeeze the shoulder blades back and stretch. If you find it more comfortable, that's the wrong word, but using gravity pulls the arms down because they're heavy, but not everyone likes this position, so do just go with what is comfortable for you. You can stay where you were if you want. Coming up, slightly different way of doing that stretch. And again, if you're not comfortable on your knees, just sit on the floor and do the same thing. If you can, put your hands down. It's a nice stretch for the legs as well. Same thing, push the chest up. If you feel comfortable, you can lift the bottom a little bit. You can take it into sort of a stretch all the way down the front of that body. And release. So you're getting a nice stretch in those legs as well. Okay, good. Let's sit comfortably and stretch out these arms. So, let's sit like this. My default is always cross-legged, and it's not overly good for you to sit cross-legged probably. So we need to take the hands together, push in front, round that back, tummy pulls in, head down. So we're stretching those shoulders because we've spent ages doing this, squeezing them together, so we want to stretch them out. And release, lovely. I'm going to take one arm across the chest and I'm going to pull it in. If you find this a bit, so this arm wants to do that and I'm having to pull it in, so this arm needs to be stiff. If that's uncomfortable, just have the arm on the shoulder and that will do the same thing. Think of keeping both shoulders down, so don't let this one creep up, pull it down. And what you can do is, if you change this hand, the one that's the arm you're stretching, if you turn that thumb down towards you, you suddenly feel that stretch change. There's a muscle that kind of wraps right around the shoulder that I'm trying to get. It's quite a difficult one to get, but if you sort of twist the hand, move it around a bit, you get that nice stretch right in that shoulder, lovely. Let's release, let's change sides. The other arm either on the shoulder and push, or stiff arm, and you're trying to pull it across. It's nice and stiff, as if it won't bend at the elbow, shoulders down. And then this hand, I'm going to rotate my thumb down just to slightly change that stretch. Breathe into it. Wonderful. Oh. Release. I'm going to use the band because I want to do a little bit of mobility in these shoulders as well. It's not a band, it's a strap, but you know what I mean. I'm going to turn around so you can see my back, but you don't have to turn around. Again, a comfortable position, probably on the knees or here, I imagine, if you're not comfortable sitting on your feet. But I want to just take the strap in my right hand, let it hang back and do this. This hand is just going to grab, get the right bit, and they're going to inch up towards each other as much as they can and just hold and just try and be comfortable breathing into it. It's really good for stretching out the shoulder. It's the arm that's behind your back that's going to probably feel more tension. Again, our arms are never pulled back like this. We spend so long with our arms and shoulders rounded. That's why this feels so uncomfortable. That's why we need to do it. Breathe, lovely. A little bit more. Release gently, lovely, lovely. Oh, let's change sides. So your other arm's going to hang it down, reach behind, grab, and climb up. I used to have to get my hands together, nearly there. Just need to, it's something you need to do every day, but who has? You never think, do you? Oh, I must just pull my arm up around the back and endure 3 minutes of really uncomfortableness. Breathing in. One more nice deep breath. Oh, release, well done. Okay. You can use that for later on. So I am going to sit with my feet hip width apart so my heels are in line with the bones I'm sitting on. Let's pull up tall and then let's gently roll down, contract. As you're rolling down, think of where your feet are because they need to come in a bit closer for when you get to the floor. And we'll set up once we're on the floor. So this is our set up position once we're on our back in a supine position. We're in neutral, so you've got a little gap, that's what we want. Let's slide the hands up the back of the neck to align the head. If you need a little towel, but only an inch or two, otherwise you'll end up being like that, which we don't want. Hands down by your sides, slide them towards your ankles so that you get a nice space between your neck, your ear and your shoulder, but then let your chest settle a bit. Lovely. Think of the big toe, the little toe, the ball of the foot, the heel is really nicely planted. Let's take a breath in, let's breathe out, and from your tailbone, push it into the floor, and then the bones up. After that, all the way up to your mid-back, all the way up to your ribs, so the back is flat in the floor. And then we breathe in, release. We breathe out, we press in. So this is a really nice stretch for the lower back because you're having to engage here so that this can release at the back. Muscles work in pairs. So if we stretch the back, we've got to engage the front. So you're working your abdominals, but you're getting a lovely stretch in that lower back and release. And this is a prep for our bridge, which we're going to do today. And we're going to use a lot of legs, I think, today. Let's get ready to lift all the way up. So breathe in, breathe out, flatten the back into the floor, all the way up the rib cage. Make sure your ball, your foot and toe are firmly planted. Then squeeze the bottom and peel and lift off. What we want to try and do is keep our ribs here. So we don't want to flare the ribs up, keep them down, but the bottom squeezes and goes up. Then when we do that, our knees come out. So think of engaging ball of the foot and that will engage the inner thighs. Let's breathe in, neck and shoulders relax. Don't grip with the feet or the hands and roll down. Find that rib cage, press it into the floor, pelvic tilt. So that you can get all the way down, flatten the back, tailbone release. Here we go again, breathe in, breathe out, flatten, squeeze, lift. Squeeze the bottom. Remember the glutes, remember that feeling of inside, you're sort of rotating your hips, give them a little squeeze and push up, and then just engage the legs again so they don't flail out to the side, roll down. Lovely. We are going to lift up and hold here. Lift up and hold. So let's just start with lifting the right foot off the floor in this position, 90 degrees, so we don't bring it in, it just stays there. And then slowly, slowly, slowly place it down. The key is nothing here is moving. You're nice and flat. Pick up the left leg. Really squeeze that right bottom. Relax the shoulders, relax the hands. So easy to grip there. I just did that. Kind of do that. You're just really trying to isolate this. Roll back down. Lovely. So you might think, ow, that hurt the back of my legs a bit, which could be the glutes, but also maybe bring your feet in a bit closer to your bottom. Going to go up again. We're going to stick with the bent legs. I want to try a straight leg if possible. Breathe in, breathe out. Flatten the back. Lift up. Right leg. Lift. Can we extend? Squeeze this left bottom. Get up. I'm just going to lift the leg up and down. So point, lower, flex, lift. Point, lower. It doesn't matter if you're bent. Just if you can. We're just working the hamstring a little bit. Point, lower, flex, lift. Point, lower, flex, lift. Place it all the way down. Squeeze the bottom. Let's get those hips up. Let's lift the left leg up to the ceiling here. All lengthen, flex, lower, point, lift. Flex, lower, point, lift. Flex, lower. Lovely stuff. Last time. Lower all the way down, roll down, bring those knees into the chest, and have a little rock from side to side. I thought it was past then, I panicked, it's 20 past, thinking how's that possible? Roll around, lovely. Let's do a little bit of abdominals before we go into our legs. So I want to do the dead bug, back in our set-up position. Again, it's the same thing. I want to really press that lower back into the floor. So breathing in, breathe out, back into the floor. So like we're going to do a bridge lift, but we're not going to lift, we're here. That's the sort of level of engagement we want. And we're going to start to lift arms and legs with that. So with your back firmly pressing the floor, neck is long, chin is down, lift one leg. And then place it back down again, then the other leg. So if you do this without your back pressed into the floor, it's not that difficult, but it's maintaining this position that's hard. Squeeze your pelvic floor in like you're trying to hold in a wee. Squeeze your tummy muscles as if you're trying to pull them back to the spine and use them to flatten the back. Lovely. What I want to start doing now is lengthening a leg and reaching an arm. Same thing though, really press, almost tuck and tilt as if you're going to lift, but just lengthen and come back. So don't take the leg too close to the floor, otherwise it's going to encourage your back to come off the floor. We're just going to lengthen an arm and a leg. Breathe. One more. Release, let the tummy go back into neutral. Okay, we're going to do that again. This time I'm just going to hold a leg in the air and we're going to add an arm to it. So let's start off with breathing in, breathing out, flatten the back into the floor. So we're flat again. Then let's just lift one leg and hold. So whilst we're here, really think about pulling in. Try and press your ribs into the floor. Imagine that you are going to lift up, but you're not. And then you just really will engage all of that lower tummy muscles as well. Hold here. Can we take an arm off? So we're just holding still, very similar to what we used to do on the rollers. Try and curl up more as if you're going to lift your hips. You should be shaking. So you can see if I just do that, easy, I could stay here all day, but if I engage and push, then look at the difference. That's what we want. Can we add some movement to this? Lengthen and back, and lengthen and back. Really push the lower back in, hold back all the way up, squeeze that tummy. One more here. Let's put the leg down, arm down, release, back into neutral. Good. Again, breathe in, breathe out, flatten, tuck and tilt, lift the left leg. Hold it here. Really almost as if you're going to lift up, but not quite. Hold, squeeze. This should be shaking. Let's get that right arm up. So the neck is long. Everything's relaxed, and relax your right leg. Just hold this one here. Pull the tummy in. Try and lift. Let's add some movement. Lengthen and back. And lengthen and back. Really think your lower tummy muscle is pulling that leg back in. Breathe in and out. Squeeze the pelvic floor. Squeeze the tummy. One more. Foot down, arm down. Lovely. Unless you've got any bad backs, lower backs, stick with that. Or if you're comfortable, we're going to take both legs up. Same thing. Breathe in, breathe out. Flatten, tuck and tilt. One leg. Really pull in, then the other leg. That is the challenge. Bring them in a tad more if you need to, because it will help you push your back in the floor. Almost if you're trying to lift up like that. So feel that feeling as if you're going to lift. Let's hold here. Can we lift an arm? Whoa. So imagine you're trying to lift. Press your back into the floor. Try and lift your hips, even though you're still trying to think you're lifting up. And the other arm, and hold. Pull the tummy in, squeeze the pelvic floor. Can we just do double legs? Straighten and bend, very small. Straighten and bend. So you're not lengthening out, just push your back in the floor. Straighten the legs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those knees in. Rock from side to side. Let's have a full body stretch. Stretch those abdominals. We're going to go into our nice stretch for these legs now. Okay, so you may want a band for this. The key with this one, we are going to work the hamstring, and we're going to floss the sciatic nerve, which runs kind of right down here. So it's going to really be good for the foot. We're not going to be putting the band around the foot this time. It's very different. If you can, and you can grab your leg, so bring your knee in, grab your leg. And what we want to be able to do is straighten and bend from here. So if you're not, you don't have the flexibility, just take your leg a bit further away, and that's what you can use a band for, as if that was your hand. So you can hold it wherever it is. I just want you to try to get that leg straight and bend. So wherever you can do that, or if you can reach, wonderful. So your knees in. And you don't want to pull on it too tight because you're trying to lengthen this muscle, so don't squash it, just hold the leg. So if you can, flex the foot, point the foot, flex, point. Right, what I'd like to do, flex, straighten, wherever you can. Again, if you're here, that's fine. You might not even need a band, you might just hold it. Point it and bend. Flex, lift, point, bend. It's very, very specific, this flexing bit and then pointing to bend it, because that's what's flossing that nerve. Flex, lift. We're doing about 15 of these. Point, bend. This is 5. Flex, lift, point. Again, I'm not holding mine, I'm just doing it here. Flex, lift, point, bend. So you always get a release. Flex, stretch it, point, release. Flex it, stretch it, point, release. Let's do 4 more. Two more. Flex, stretch, point, release. Flex, stretch, point, release. Good. So that should feel so nice. That's a really good way of stretching the hamstrings. Different way of doing it. Other leg could be different. So do listen to your body, see what it feels like. Let's get this leg in. Let's flex it. We're gonna stretch it up, and then we point it and bend. Flex it up, point and bend. Again, pull it in a bit more if you want a bit more challenge. Use your band, work with yourself. The main thing is you get your legs straight, even if it's here and you bend it, as long as you're feeling a stretch. Flex and stretch, point and bend. Flex, stretch, point, bend. Flex it, stretch, point, bend. Lovely. 10 more. 9 more. Fantastic. 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, getting more flexible. Each would go. 4, 3, 2. Last one. And release. Wonderful stuff. Let's just give those legs, lengthen them out, give them a little shake. Let's turn onto our side. And do a little bit of rotation. In fact, do a bit of side work. So I'm going to lie down with my body against right along the back of the mat, my palm facing up, and my head is on my arm. So because we're going to be lifting both legs, we'll need to be straight. You'll know if you put both feet forwards, you're not going to be able to lift them, so you need to be straight. If you can't lift both legs, we're just going to stay with one, so that's fine. So you're really nice and straight. Your feet are stacked, your hips are stacked. If you need to, use your hands. Try not to roll back or forward. If you can, pull underneath, so you've got you're engaged here, and your shoulders are level. We're just going to lift and lower the upper leg to start with. Lift and lower. It isn't even that high. You're squeezing your bum. Even think of maybe pushing that leg back a bit. So we're working the glutes a little bit, but just make sure you're not going to wobble too much. It's small. Push that foot, lift it. Good. So this is our first level. We are going to go to double legs, which is when we're going to start to work the waist, but you can stick with this if you want. Let's do 4 more. and 3. And there's quite a few different levels of this other one. I call it, it is a single leg lift, double leg lift, but I call it a penguin, so I think that's how I feel. So small lift both legs, you can see I've hardly lifted them at all, and lower. Small lift both legs. So what I'm going to try and do is take this arm off. When it's on my leg, it's kind of like, you can see why I think I feel like a penguin. Or is it like a fish? I could be sort of flapping my tail. So my head is relaxed, my eyes squeeze, and my arm moves down my leg. Squeeze. So it's very small, it's here that's working, it's small, you're having to balance using your core. If you want to, try and relax the neck. You can take your arm up. So there's lots of options here. So you can have your hands here, you can have them on your leg, you could lift one leg, or you could take your arm up. So quite a few different levels. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, release, lovely. From here, let's bring those knees in. And I want to come up to the elbow. I'm going to roll my mat up a little bit, give me a bit of cushion in here. And we're going to, my knees are kind of in line with the front of the mat in my hand. So we don't want to be collapsed here, we're pulling up. So imagine there's a candle, it's burning, you've got to lift up. And I'm just going to open and close the top leg, open and close. So we're working the waist because we're holding this, we're working the glutes because we're opening. I'm going to add on to this, I want to open my arm as I open my leg, but I want to rotate and twist a little bit. So I open and twist. Open. If you've got any shoulder issues, you can, by all means, you can just do this with the leg on the floor. You can leave that arm out of it completely. It's quite a lot of weight into the shoulder. If we're going to do a few more, lift it up in a moment. So we get a nice rotation in that rib cage. Last one here. So for the last set, I'm going to try and lift us up into a sort of mini side plank and do the same, another 8. So you can stay with your hips on the floor, or you can lift, arm here, open, thread through, and open. Breathe in. We've got 4 more. Remember, you don't have to lift those hips. There's quite a lot into those shoulders. 2 more. Last one. Wonderful. I want to do a nice stretch for the shoulders. So I'm going to bring my knees a bit more in. And I'm going to have my hands together here. I'm going to open up the shoulders and then close them. So the knees are together, they're heavy, the elbows are together, and then open them up. Oh, I have my back then, that's lovely. And then what I want to do to make it a little bit bigger, I'm just going to lean on this one hand and have this one free. So I am going to circle up and round. Oh, that is because I've got a bit of a dodgy shoulder and that does really hurt. So just a nice gentle stretch. I will be doing a full circle but my arm's in the way. But just a nice circular motion, stretching that arm. One more and just holding it back wherever you get that nice stretch. Wonderful. I'm going to switch ends so that I can do my fish or penguin, whatever we're going to call it. So we're nice and straight, line yourself up, feet stacked, hips stacked, head on your arm. Pull underneath, you've got a bit of a gap if you can, doesn't matter if not. Let's lift this top leg, squeezing the bottom. Lift, neck is relaxed, tummy's pulled in, still squeezing that pelvic floor, fingers are relaxed. Lovely. Good stuff. I mean, you could even practice the one-handed one with one leg. So this could be enough for you. You can sort of sense that your hand is sliding down the leg a bit. So we're going to do that with doubles. This could be enough. Let's do 2 more. Or you could do the one leg and challenge yourself with an arm. Or can we do 2 legs? Small lift. Let's start small. And again, don't bring your legs forward. You need to be completely straight. So you're squeezing here, lifting those legs up. Try not to make it too jerky. I might appreciate it could be a bit unpainful on your hips. Unpainful, that's not a word. Uncomfortable and painful, that's a new word we've just made up. Unpainful, it doesn't sound right. Hands here, can we reach? And just think you're like that fish flopping its tail around. I sort of feel like a whale that can't get up. Can we take the arm up? You know what I mean? You sort of see these videos, don't you, on YouTube of these sea fish, these great big whales. They sort of to flap their legs about, they're not getting anywhere. Anyway, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1. Lovely. We're going to bring the knees in and we're opening and closing. We're going to take that up onto the arm, onto the elbow. Optional. You know what, I'm going to put a bit of extra padding. I've got to, don't get old. My elbow is quite painful to lean on. Okay. So we're opening and closing, and opening and closing. Lovely. Open up and twist through. We're not making a very good. That's better. Twist up and through, and up and through, and through. So we're working the glutes, opening the hips, getting a nice twist, opening the chest. The last 8, lift up if that is suitable for you. Lift, open up and twist. Open, twist. You're working your obliques, twisting it and crunching it. There's a lot going on here. We've got 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wonderful. Come down. Oh, let's stretch. My goodness, it's 22 already. Better stretch this arm out and then relax. So bring those knees in, hands together onto the head, and open up. And close. And open. And close. Let's do this full circle all the way over and round. And again all the way over and round. And let's hold this last one. Good enough position. Keep those knees heavy. Opening up the chest. Lovely. And then gently, let's come onto the back. Have a full body stretch quickly. Bring the knees in. Feet and knees together, hands to the side. Let's have a little sway. And let's let those knees fall over to the right and the head to the left, keeping the shoulders down. And gently come back to centre. Bring those feet back to centre. Let those knees gently drop to the left, head to the right. And then come back to centre. Finding a comfortable position for yourself. I'm going to change this music. Find a comfortable position, lying down. Maybe with your feet apart, your palms up. Very gently relaxed. And let's take a breath in through the nose. and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Here we go. In through the nose, last one. Out through the mouth, close the eyes. And just let your breathing be through the nose, the eyes are closed. And just sensing the air through the nostrils. Feeling the air on the back of the throat. And thinking about the tummy just rising and falling, that breath giving you energy, giving you life. Every breath you take in, you can think the word life, visualise that word life. It's giving you life. And as you breathe out, thinking of the word love, because your life and your energy you give to others and to yourself. Let's have a little check, thinking of your head and your eyes. How is the tension in your head? In your forehead, around the eyes, around the cheeks. Are you relaxed? Can you relax? Relieve any tension. How's the nose feeling? Into the cheeks, under the jawline. Can you feel any tension there? Can you release? Let the jaw relax, the tongue and the teeth relax. And then just sensing the back of the head into the floor, where it touches the floor. Is it comfortable? Are you relaxed? And then how do the shoulders feel? Sensing across the back of the neck, down into the shoulders, where the shoulder blades touch the floor. How are they feeling? Are they comfortable? Breathing into it, just doing a scan of your body, seeing how things feel, noticing any tension, and just accepting it, and just moving on. Then your chest, how's your ribs? As you breathe, your ribs expand and contract, your diaphragm expands and contracts, and your tummy muscles, how they feel, how the back of the hips feel into the floor and the bottom. And coming back up to the shoulders, how they feel. The arms long into the floor, the elbows, the hands, just giving yourself a scan, sensing any tension, anything you could resolve, or just accepting. And then moving down the legs, down into the knees and the backs of the knees and the calves on the floor. And then the feet, are they relaxed? Are the toes relaxed? Is there any tension? Can we just relieve that? And just spend a moment here for yourself. And then gently, let's start to bring our awareness back to the breath. Breathing in through the nose, feeling the air in the nostrils, down the back of the throat. Sensing the chest expand, the ribs expand, the tummy rise and fall. And maybe a little roll of the head side to side. A little wiggle of the fingers and the toes. Maybe circle the ankles, circle the feet and the wrists. And then placing one foot on the floor and then the other one, stretching those arms up above the head. One knee into the chest at a time, giving it a little roll round, just resisting the urge to open the eyes or to think about what you've got to do next. Let's bring the other knee in, have a little roll around, massaging that lower back. And then when you're ready, let's roll over onto our right hand side, coming into child's pose. Opening the eyes whilst we're looking down, let that light in. Gently lift the head. Lifting the body. And let's come to a comfortable seated position to finish. Oh, I feel nice and stretched today. Breathing in and out. And in and out. And let's do one more breath in, arms out. And cross them over, give yourself a big hug. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you have a lovely week.